Well, so far, great through your matches this year. Laura Bernardos has really been playing well for you.
She's really come to play this year, and I think before this year she struggled a little bit. She had some shoulder issues last year, but her first year here, I remember we had her at the 1 and 2 position, and she had some success. And this year she's playing really well and consistent. Got off to a good start, and I think that had a lot to do with it. She played really well in the fall, and it's kind of carried over into the spring.
She played well against great competition, at Vanderbilt, at University of Kentucky. And you'd mentioned to me earlier she maybe struggled in the past playing indoors, but playing well indoors now.
I think it's a confidence thing with her. Once she saw that she could play well in a couple matches indoors, she's kind of taken off from there and done a really good job.
You've littered your schedule with a lot of good programs early on. You went to Vanderbilt, played Lipscomb, gone to the University of Kentucky. How do you feel like your team has managed those tough matches?
We've up to now, I think we've competed really well. The thing I want to kind of stay away from is, and we had this issue last year at times, is we're leaning on the same people to have a great performance every match in order to be successful. And whether it's basketball, any sport, you've got to have some type of contribution from everybody in that starting lineup if you're going to be successful. We were right there in the match against Lipscomb, had opportunities, and just really struggled to make plays to turn that around into a W. But overall, the team is competing really well. It's just getting, I think, that confidence of getting that one really good win and just going from there with it.
As you had pointed out prior to the season, you felt like this team had more depth than in the past. Have you seen that depth yet, or is the quality of competition you're playing prevented maybe that depth from gaining some confidence?
One of the things we're looking at right now is I've got to kind of lock in and settle on a lineup, and I haven't been able to do that yet because I haven't seen enough as far as a body of work with some of the new players, and we didn't have a big fall. We only played one tournament. So I want to kind of get a look at most of the players. The depth is what's kind of making it tough for me to make that decision right now. I've got to kind of put somebody in, take them out, put them in, and take them out of the lineup. So I think once we can come to a decision and kind of go from there with a starting lineup that we're going to go with for a few matches, we'll be able to take the next step, and it's getting close to being able to make that type of decision, I think, coming forward.
Well, your next step regarding your season is Northern Kentucky.
They've been a very difficult team for us. I remember my first year, we struggled there. Last year, I believe Lisa got a win, but we got beat 6-1. So again, we're not going to be able to go in there and give what I call a Swiss cheese performance, where we get performances here and in this position, but not all 6 players, and be successful. But they're a very good team. They've got a lot of their players back. So I'm expecting a really high-quality match out of the team. We've been practicing well the last few days, and I shouldn't have to get them up for Northern Kentucky. That's a team we've struggled with. So I know a lot of them really want to perform well this weekend.
We've had a cold front here now for almost the last 2 weeks consecutively. There's been a good day here and there. How has that affected your team and people who teams have to compete in this kind of weather?
Well, I mean, sometimes you're indoors, sometimes you're out, and that's one of the things that I wanted to do a better job of this year. We have to get outside more, even if it's a little bit colder, to practice. We really struggled last year to make that transition from playing indoors to out when we had to go outside during the season. So on purpose this year, if it's something where we can go outside, get a good practice in for an hour and a half versus a 2-hour practice indoors, and it's going to be a little bit colder, I'm going to go outside because the bulk of your season is outside, and we got to get prepared for that for this season later on. We've got some really tough opponents coming up, and most of those matches are going to be outside.